What is the best case scenario for every single Maverick as balls get thrown across the... Hey, Optimist, this is a show for you. Coming up next on DLLS Mavs. Welcome into the DLLS studios, where it is a Wednesday edition of the DLLS Mavs show. I'm Tim Cato. Podcast?
Yep.
We're a podcast, not a show?
Nope. Yes.
We've got tornado sirens going off in the background, but it's first Wednesday of the month. It always does that. Kat has given us permission to work, so I do not think we're going to have any more foam balls thrown our direction. But we can't guarantee it. You got to stay on your toes here in the DLLS studio. I'm Tim Cato. I am typically the Mavs beat writer for DLLS, but today I am filling the shoes of Kevin Gray. I'm hosting as we talk only optimist, positive, glass half full, glass fully full.
Yes.
With Bobby Carolla, who is our Mavs analyst. Bobby, welcome back. Good to have you back.
Hey, thanks, Tim. It's good to be back. I took a week off, and I tuned into the show, I think,
One time for sure.
2 or 3 times.
When we were talking about how you weren't going to tune in.
Yeah, I was active in the chat a little bit. Flight got delayed, but I ended up getting there safe and sound, and I got home safe and sound. I'm rested, recharged, and I'm ready to talk some sports.
Was it Flight 55?
I don't know what that means.
Wow. That was Derek Jones last season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, It was not. It was, I believe it was 23.
Don't dox yourself.
Okay.
I mean, it's in the past, though.
That's right.
That if that was the flight you were currently on, that would get you banned from X, famously.
It would, yeah, it would. Yeah.
So we're here to talk about
one can wish
the best case, the sunniest case, the most optimistic case for every single Maverick on the roster. We're going to go guard to center, just to mix it up a little bit. We thought about doing alphabetical, and then it just turned out that like all the good, interesting players are kind of grouped together. So
yeah, we got to space them out a little bit so
Right.
that we got to keep you, the listener, engaged.
Yeah, so I just sorted by basketball reference, and I'm going to go top to bottom on every single player, which has us starting with Jaden Hardy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is a funny, but fun, good one to start with.
Yeah.
Bobby, tell me, what is the best case scenario? What is the rosiest outlook? Put on your reddest glasses, go full Quinn Snyder, except with the lenses, not the frames.
Okay.
And tell me how Jaden Hardy can have his best possible actually not NBA season, because that might involve him not being with the Mavericks. How can he have his best Mavericks season next year?
That was going to kind of be part of my answer, because I think, even despite the general lack of playmaking and guards without Kyrie on this team, I still don't see Hardy getting a lot of minutes with the Mavs. So it could be that for his career, the best thing to do would be to go to a different team where he could play more minutes. But another good way to ensure that you stick around in the league, ensure that you're, respected and highly thought of and coveted around the league or whatever, is to contribute to a winning team. So I would guess maybe the best case scenario for Hardy is that there's 1 or 2 injuries on the team that the Mavs are able to overcome and fight through and finish above 500 in the playoff picture, maybe even, pushing for a top 6 spot. And Hardy is the kind of guy that we saw in the 24 playoffs, where he's knocking down some threes, he's running the floor in transition, and he's making like simple plays off of other guys. Craig Ludwig just walked in here. Luds, it feels like it's been forever since I've seen you, and he's just walking away. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Straight up does not even care. So I think the best case for Hardy is that, unfortunately, another Mav or 2 might have to miss some time. But when he fills in, he's able to knock down some shots and make simple plays.
I mean, what he does that nobody else on the roster pretty much does is take threes at a high per minute basis.
Yes.
About every 4 minutes, he's going to get a 3 up that he's playing on the court. And Dallas has 2 players who do that, Klay Thompson and D'Angelo Russell. Up until Kyrie gets back, they do not have volume 3-point shooters. They have players who take threes, absolutely, but you think about spacing, you think about 3-point shooting. We're going to talk a little bit more tomorrow on tomorrow's show about 3-point shooting. But just to reveal a little bit about a piece I talked about yesterday that was going to get published. Taking a lot of threes is different than spacing. There are teams that have really had really good spacing last season that played 5 out most of the time, like the New York Knicks, who did not shoot a lot of threes. They use their spacing to get inside, to score inside. Dallas is betting a lot on scoring inside, being a dominant interior scoring team, and that's where a bulk of their offense is going to come from. You still may need some shooters on the court. You do need some shooters on the court. And right now, Dallas has 2 of them. So for me, it's not even some guys are going to have to get injured. I am looking at this roster right now and thinking that if D'Angelo Russell misses a game, then Jaden Hardy needs to be in there because they do not have anybody else who can shoot. And D'Angelo Russell can do a lot more than Jaden Hardy, of course. But in a scenario where Jaden Hardy is on this roster, there is a use for him. Any given moment that Klay Thompson or D'Angelo Russell are not available, he should be called upon because he's the only other player on this team currently healthy that has that skill set. So I think
it's just tough for him though because like his game is so based on rhythm.
Yeah.
That if it is just filling in every now and then as a spot start or like, hey, you're getting 10 minutes tonight, you might not play again for 2 weeks. It's just really tough to keep that up.
Well, that's the best case scenario is that he evolves into a player that is more consistent, even if his role is not consistent. I think that would be even if his career past this season, even if he's traded midseason, that would be a huge thing that would allow him to stick in the league because when you're, the 200th, 250th best player in the NBA, the 300th best player in the NBA, you're not going to get a consistent role every night. Being able to bring what you do well onto the court every time you step onto it is a plus skill. That is a valuable skill. And if Jaden Hardy can do that, I think that's kind of the rosiest best case scenario for him next season. Ready to move on?
Yes.
Brandon Williams.
I think the best case scenario for Brandon Williams this year is that he outplays D'Lo to the point where he becomes the starter, like kind of the unquestioned starter, and is able to give, 14, 15 points, handful, maybe half dozen assists. That's like kind of optimistic, but he has the thing that really outside of Kyrie, no other guard on the team has, which is like the consistent ability to kind of easily get to wherever he wants to go on the floor. And he's got a lot of crafty finishing, moves and touches around the rim. And so I think that I don't even know if it's the brightest timeline that he becomes the starter because, I think he might just outplay D'Lo, even not in the most optimistic scenario. But I think most optimistically, he becomes the irrefutable starter until Kyrie's out and has the kind of season where a year or 2 from now, he's signing like a pretty hefty deal with whatever team offers it to him.
Yeah. We talk about how Jaden Hardy, there's not a lot of skill sets like him on the roster. I mean, that's even doubly true for Brandon Williams. There's not players who consistently get paint touches on this team except for Brandon Williams. And, the worst case scenario is not what we're not even talking about that at all. I'm not even going to say it.
There is no worst case scenario
there is
today,
no
Tim.
Only rose-colored glasses.
Good vibes only.
You want a fun Brandon Williams stat?
Yes.
What did he shoot on catch and shoot threes last season?
43%.
49%.
Damn, I was low.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
49%
really good,
on catch and shoot.
That
was
is
the
really
best
good.
on the team after Dante Exum, who shot 50%.
And if you want a guy that can, because they kind of like that D'Lo can play off of whether it's Kyrie or Flagg or AD or whatever, but if you can shoot 50% on catch and shoot threes, you can play off of all those guys better than anyone else.
I agree 100%. That's going to be a super important skill. Because I have this sorted by Dallas Mavericks. Actually, I can find it by the Nets real quick, I think, just to see what D'Angelo Russell shot on catch and shoot threes. Oh, no. I don't see him.
Well, we shouldn't bog. There are 15 players on the team.
26%.
Are you serious?
On catch and shoot threes.
Is that for his whole season?
That was just for the Nets.
Okay.
So he is a better shooter than that, but he did end the season very poorly shooting catch and shoot threes. That is something that needs to come back. Historically in his career, he's been much better than that. That's why it took so long, because I wasn't expecting to be scrolling that far down.
Well, part of what made Dinwiddie so valuable too is that he was an excellent corner shooter.
Yeah.
And so even last year, Dinwiddie was playing a bunch of minutes with and without Kyrie, but even when Kyrie was off the floor, he was still so good, especially in the corners. And if Brandon Williams is able to do that too, that's really nice because then he's also drawing the smallest defender to the corner where they're playing low man or help side D, and you're not doing anything tagging a roll man or doubling AD if you're like 6'2". So that's a really important skill set.
Do you have 30 seconds to give a best case scenario for Miles Kelly and or Ryan Nembhard?
Best case scenario for Ryan Nembhard is that he runs out of games. He runs out of eligibility.
Well, it's best case for both of them, but we see a more immediate impact path for Nembhard.
I don't see it for Kelly necessarily unless there's a lot of injuries, but I think for both of them, it's just play a ton of minutes with the legends. Kelly becomes a consistent three-point shooter. Nembhard is, solidifies himself as a steal, and he's running out of games. Like in March, we have to put up the Ryan Nembhard game counter graphic of
Not
sadness.
Again. Yeah. We already have a template for it. Best case scenario for Kyrie Irving, I think that one's pretty simple. That he comes back in December or very early January.
Yeah, I think if he plays a game before February, I would be over the moon.
Over the moon.
Over the moon. I'd be aiming for the stars.
But the moon isn't it's hard to be over it because space is not. It doesn't really operate on a.
Well, think about it. Just think about it.
3D dimensions.
Well, it does exist in the third dimension, but that's important to say this.
Well, it does, but
unless you believe space is the fourth dimension, in which case it's kind of. But then everything exists in every dimension because I live in the third dimension, but also the second and the first. But
that's a good point.
Tim,
that's correct.
Not only is the brightest timeline that Kyrie comes back in January, but the brightest timeline is that Kyrie is Kyrie. He does not. He is like the best recovery from an ACL that we can remember. He's coming back and giving you 25, 5 and 5, and he is still the king of the fourth, and he's still all of those things, and he's able to put the Mavs on his back and get them to the top 6. And I don't even necessarily think that that's the unlikeliest outcome, but that's definitely the brightest possible outcome.
I agree. And for him, he shouldn't come back and be expected to be himself from the jump right away. That is not how many ACL injuries work. It's also worth remembering that the left knee, where he tore his ACL, is a knee he has previously had 2 surgeries on. One of them was that the first surgery he had on it, the bolts or rods that got inserted to stabilize the knee got infected.
That sounds really gross.
I can't imagine it was a very glowing, rosy best case scenario. So let's start. But when you consider the fact that this is a thrice surgically repaired knee, the expectation is not that it's going to be. Even though it was the best case scenario in terms of the injury itself, as far as we understand, the reporting has been there was not cartilage damage, there was not other ligament damage, not even other ligaments torn, but no damage. The damage was just that the anterior cruciate ligament, I believe, snapped, tore, whatever you want to call it. And that has to heal and be repaired and get back to full strength. But I get it, this is not, for all those reasons, this is not something that you should expect him to come back from instantly. But we've also seen it. We've seen players. We've seen, athletes who are just superhuman. And we understand that Kyrie is at a different point of his career where, this is as, I think it's broadly understood this is the most professional and dedicated and serious Kyrie has ever been about basketball. Not to say that at every point, there wasn't a lot of seriousness and a lot of professionalism, but there also wasn't. And we understand, there's very loud examples of how at times that wasn't his pure focus. So I hope that he is back on the court as soon as possible. And it's not impossible that it could be the month of December. It's just not an expectation that you should have. And when he does return, it should not be an expectation.
Just the brightest timeline. You don't got to give the qualifiers in the brightest timeline.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about optimism. We're not talking about realism.
All right, he's going to be back in December. He's going to drop 50 points on Christmas.
Hell yeah.
50 points on Christmas.
Against the Lakers or something.
Yeah.
If Thrice Repaired, I feel like that's a great band name. Is that that's like kind of like punk emo, probably,
yeah,
right?
A little bit.
Or like emo metal, kind of like, I'm trying to think of an example of, I don't know.
I think it's too close to Thrice, the band actually named.
There's a
Thrice.
band called Thrice?
Yes.
I
Really?
know three-eyed, third-eyed blind.
All right, Thrice
three-eyed,
Repaired is
Wow.
is like the
3 days.
See,
it's like
you
the
get on to me
remastered
yesterday
album.
for not knowing something XX, right?
Jamie
Charlie
XX.
XCX.
No,
Jamie
that one.
XX.
Oh, you're the only person that ever talks about Jamie XX.
Well, they asked me the last time I went to a concert, and I answered.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm going to a concert tonight, actually.
Yeah, who?
I'm seeing Regina Spektor.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like her.
At the Majestic.
I mean, I haven't thought about her in a decade and a half, but I like her.
Jesus, dude. She still makes music.
Oh, well, that's lovely for her. Let's take our first break right now before this derails any sooner. We'll be right back.
So I just got back from vacation, and, I've been saving up a little bit of money to go. And obviously, whenever you go on vacation, you're spending a little bit of money. And Monarch Money tracks all of my finances for me. That's not just my savings account. It's my checking, my investments, and all that stuff. And within that app, I can set goals to save X number of bucks for my next trip to Philly, or if we want to go to Vegas again, or if I just want to go down the street and rent an Airbnb for a little staycation. But Monarch Money also knows, hey, dummy, you spent way too much money on fresh fish this weekend. You should probably scale back spending in other areas.
We've got a fishmonger over here.
Yeah, I also went to the mall the other day and I bought some new clothes. So Monarch Money knows, dude, you're spending way too much. It's
Without
time
Kat?
to save. It is time to save. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DLLS.
Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire Today is here to help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals, and they focus on flooring every single day of their lives, which really, think of the commitment. Every single day you're waking up thinking about floors, which is more than I wake up thinking about basketball. And I wake up thinking about basketball most days. They're not like the big box stores. When you talk to somebody at Empire Today, you know that they know what they're talking about. They live and breathe flooring, and they're going to be with you every step of the way. This is not a situation where you go buy flooring from a big box store, and then you have to get it to your house. You have to find an installer. You have to make sure that it's the right. This is an all-in-one process with Empire Today. It just makes everything easier. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard that right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DLLS for full details. Welcome back. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is important.
Yeah.
This is way more important than our podcast. Eurobasket just tweeted a Dirk highlight video from 05. Whenever he led Germany to the silver medal at the Eurobasket. It's just, he's just God. I cannot believe I was lucky enough to get to watch Dirk Nowitzki play basketball, dude.
Okay, best case scenario, Dirk Nowitzki this coming season.
He comes back out of retirement and drops 30.
I was gonna say he gets to eat a lot of ice cream and drink beers whenever he wants.
That would be happy for Dirk for that too.
Yeah. Which, spoiler alert, he can eat ice cream and drink beers whenever he wants.
Dude, he's just ISOing from the top of the key on all of these guys, and no one can stop it. He's just
ridiculous athlete.
Dirk was so good.
Ridiculous.
Man. Oh my
ridiculous
God,
athlete.
So good. Holy. I almost just.
Okay,
really
so
bad. Watch this.
Yeah,
Great
probably
podcast.
the chase down block.
Just chases down some idiot, just sends that
This is
way out to midcourt.
live podcasters. Bobby Carella doesn't care about you, or podcast listeners.
Look, I see Dirk. I'm gonna watch Dirk. Continue.
Okay, so moving on to another one of your favorite players. What is the best case scenario for D'Angelo Russell?
The best case scenario for D'Angelo Russell is that, kind of like with Brandon Williams, D'Lo establishes himself as the irrefutable starting point guard. Like, he is going to be the guy. And kind of like we said the day he signed, the best case for D'Lo and for the Mavs is that D'Lo plays so well that he opts out of his contract, because he's going to get the mid-level, the full mid-level, or a much richer deal from Dallas or someone else next season. And that, he can achieve that by doing a few things. First off, I think that guy has a bit of a reputation. It's been a while since he's been like a super key contributor, starting caliber player, positive impact guy on a really good team, despite being on some of those Lakers teams that did make the playoffs. Like, it was kind of, I don't know, he just has this sort of rep, as like maybe he's not contributing to winning all the time, or he's inconsistent, or, a little spacey at times, maybe not a defensive contributor, but like there have been a lot of vets that have come to Dallas both during the Kidd era and even before that, during the Rick era and beyond, guys that have come in with those questions about their makeup or their skill set or whatever, and they just lock the heck in and they answer all of those questions and they get a huge payday from their next team. Derrick Jones signed on the minimum and then got the mid-level from the Clippers the following season and is now a great player for them. Like, guys do that all the time. This happens a lot here, and D'Lo could be the latest and greatest example of that. And I say greatest because the best timeline for him is that he is so good that the Mavs don't even miss Kyrie. And that is bright. I don't think that's realistic, but that's definitely a possibility.
No qualifiers, you said.
No qualifiers. That's the brightest timeline. Kyrie, take your time, buddy. D'Lo's got it under control.
Last season, D'Lo, also with the Lakers, was a really poor catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. Below 30% across both stops. 2 years ago, he shot 43% on catch-and-shoot threes, and he did it taking more than 4 a game. That's the D'Lo that Dallas needs. They need a consistent catch-and-shoot threat. Not just a guy who's going to make a bunch of them because, yeah, that's good. It's good to make three-pointers. It's good to make three-pointers at a 43% clip. But they also need somebody to pull defenders out and give room for Anthony Davis inside the arc, for Cooper Flagg to go drive on opponents, just outmatched opponents. If Cooper Flagg is going to be this free throw drawing mismatch machine, it starts if you've got a guy.
Mismatch machine. Mismatch machine. I can't say that.
Mismatch machine. I said it correctly.
No, you did. I'm trying to
thank you.
Copy you. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's another emo band name. Is it not? Yeah.
Mismatch machine.
And like, these players need a guy like D'Angelo, not just a guy who's going to go set up the offense. Obviously, D'Angelo has reps and chemistry with Anthony Davis. Has a familiarity about how to find him and feed him. But part of that comes with the idea that he's keeping his guy honest. Maybe he's keeping 2 guys honest. He's keeping opponents honest, that they can't just all sink and swarm and get into the paint and clog things up and make this offense stick. And that's the best case scenario for him. That he treats it like a contract year, like it is the best case scenario for him. I agree. So
the best case scenario is he's making twice his salary next season. I mean, that's or more.
Dante Exum. Best case, rosiest case, most glass full. Well, because he's Australian, would it be glass half empty? Is like the Australian glass half full actually a glass half empty?
Everything is like, because it's upside down.
Right.
I mean, I guess the best case scenario for Dante is that he's just as good as he was in 23-24 because he was so good. Like, it's hard to imagine him. It's hard to imagine, honestly, any player kind of that has taken his journey being better than what he was like in that November, December, January stretch when Kyrie was out. Like, he was averaging like 12, 15 points, shooting 50% from 3, playing good defense, getting assists and steals. And like, if he can be that guy all year, and, obviously with him, avoid big injuries. He got, pretty unlucky last year with a couple bumps and bruises he picked up. Because, I mean, there is a need for point of attack defense. There's a need for playmaking. There's a need for shooting. And he, on his best days, can do all 3 of those things and then some.
So the next player is Max Christie. I'm not quite done with Dante Exum. I'm going to say the same.
Damn, just Dante erasure.
I'm going to say the same thing for both of these guys.
Okay.
For both Max and Dante. The best case scenario, the absolute best case scenario for both of these players is that they start at the 2. I think there is a very narrow,
Dante
unlikely,
can start, yeah.
Dante can start. Dante hit half of his catch and shoot threes. Now, he's not the gravity type guy in the same way, but you can create space by doing things other than just stand and shoot. Standing and shooting and making your shots is a huge prerequisite to being a guy who generates spacing. But being a smart cutter, being a guy who drives to the nail, who drives to the paint, gets a couple feet in, then just spins it back out and makes a pass. But it's enough to move a defense, to unsettle them slightly. That is something that I think Dante Exum can do. And we know that Dante is one of the better point of attack defenders, something that we have been clamoring that Dallas needs on their roster. So I absolutely see a case, just like 2 years ago when he had his best season, that he could be a starter next to D'Angelo Russell. I think that is a plausible thing. There's probably not a case that he's going to be the starter over D'Angelo Russell. I don't really see that being likely, but I could see him starting at the 2. In the same way, I could see Max Christie starting at the 2 if he just becomes a really high-level three-point shooter in ways that we saw glimpses of. I think we saw more than glimpses of. He was a really quality shooter last season. And we also know that he is, like, he characterizes as a point-of-attack guy. I want to see a little bit more from him as a defender. I don't think we've seen a lot of splashy plays. I don't think we've seen a lot of explosive stuff. I don't know if we're ever going to see explosive stuff. But if we see more consistency, more side-to-side movement where he is not just a guy, not just, I mostly stay in front of my guy, but he is turning into somebody who is more of a pesky pest. And he is somebody who is really aggravating to any opponent that is across from him. That, I think, is exactly a case to be the second starter. Basically, you get 70% of what Klay Thompson brings at this point of his career as a shooter, plus maybe a little bit more off the dribble, and then you get 40% more as a defender. And that's the type of math where all of a sudden you are looking at Klay Thompson and thinking, maybe Max Christie is a better fit for the starting lineup right now, just a younger body in there, a springier legs, somebody who does a little bit more all over the place. Maybe Klay Thompson even still plays more minutes. But right now, when you sketch out the rotation, it's hard to find minutes for Max Christie. There is a real scenario that you can look at the team and you can, if Max Christie goes and proves it, like, it is probably Klay's minutes to some extent that he's eating into. But I think in the best case scenario, this is possible. This is plausible.
Yeah, Christie last year after joining the Mavs. Now, granted, he played a lot of that without a real point guard, and 32.6% on corner threes. That is very low.
Yeah.
For his career, he's at 40%. So just shoot your career average. 40% from the corner is pretty good. You'd love to be even higher than that, but 40%, really nice. Last season,
he was 40% on catch and shoots.
Yeah.
So he shot well above.
I need it from the corners.
No, that's
I need
fair.
it from the corners.
Correct.
Last season, after joining the Mavs, only 11% of his total field goal attempts came within 3 feet from the rim. Career average, about 15%. So if you can be a quality corner three shooter, and if you can get to the basket, which implies that you have some juice off the dribble, or that you're running the floor, or that you're contributing in ways outside of just catching and shooting,
or that
threes.
The offense is humming. He's a good cutter. There wasn't a lot of cut opportunities.
Yeah, and he's smart too. Like, you can see that he knows what he's doing in ways that, like, the people use the Pokemon evolution meme for, like, comparing him and Josh Green, and I forget who else. I'm so out of basketball. Was it Quentin Grimes? Because Grimes is better than both of them. But Josh would, like, end up somewhere and be like, "Oh my God, how did I get here? What do I do?" Like, Max is much more intentional, and for a guy that's 21, he's got a really good feel for the game. So his brightest outcome is that he pops, and that statistically, like, visually we see it, statistically it catches up with his thinking and feel for the game, and that, he does kind of replace some older guys on the team.
I think the better the offense is, the better Max will be. That he is somebody who operates in a humming offense. And I think one of the best case scenarios for him is if he can earn minutes and help elevate an offense. I don't know how much he's going to do that on his own, but shooting and hitting threes, especially from the corners at a high clip, that helps an offense. That absolutely helps an offense. So
he also shot very poorly on twos, and as the season progressed, again, limited point guard play, but off the dribble, he was trying to take some pull-ups, he was trying to do some turnaround stuff, some floaters, and just, like, he couldn't get that down consistently. But with a more fluid offense, with more kind of, professional point guard playmaking and all that stuff, hopefully that should come easier for him.
I was worried we were going too quick, and I slowed it down a little bit, and now I'm worried we're going too slow.
Are we? How many players do we have left?
3, 6, 9, 10. One is Dwight Powell, who we can skim by.
Best case scenario for Dwight Powell is that he's just continues to be awesome.
Correct. Do you want to do Klay Thompson very quickly? Because I don't think
we cannot do Klay Thompson right. We have to go to break.
Okay, fine. Let's hit a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do Klay Thompson because that's what Dictator Bobby orders from this segment.
Yes. Do as I say. hey, it's Cowboys training camp. People have football fever. Jerry Jones has decided that he forgets Micah Parsons' name. He doesn't know Micah Parsons' agent's name. In fact, I'm not even sure that he knows like that you are able to negotiate contracts outside of backroom deals that are like maybe verbally agreed to in March. But you want to know who does know that you can do all those things? Clarence Hill. And Clarence Hill is in Oxnard with the Cowboys right now, churning out exclusive after exclusive with players, with Jerry, with reporting from around that contract drama, and also the Cowboys ramping up for a preseason game, because that marketing enterprise still does play football games, and those start up very soon. In fact, this weekend, the whole Cowboys crew will be out in Oxnard next week, bringing you live shows from the field. It's going to be great.
Like literally celebrate. On the field?
They will be on the field. Yeah, they'll be on the grass.
So like
not on the gridiron.
So like Jaden Blue is gonna have me like juking around them.
It could happen.
Did I correctly say the name of the running back?
You did. Yeah, his name is Jaden Blue.
Yeah, people underestimate how
clearly
much
you've been reading the site, Tim, and you can too by taking advantage of our intro offer right now. We're running a training camp special. It is just $36 to become we're not doing that anymore. Tanner looks very perplexed. I'm not sure how much it costs to become a diehard.
I think it ended last week.
I'm pretty sure that I just got a notification on my Slack that it is still running. But
we will discuss.
The only way to find out how much it costs to be a diehard is to go to our website, alldlls.com, and you can find out how much you're going to pay. And when you do, you
the most it's going to cost is like a
cup of coffee.
Yeah, a cup of coffee
per month. Yeah,
right.
That's the most that it will cost. And
on an annual basis.
When you sign up, you get a free shirt. You get to join the Discord. You get to read the website. You get a discount on gear. You get a discount on events. You get a physical diehard card, and so many more things. I'm going to be yelled at right after the show is over. But first, let's get back to the show.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs show. I'm Tim Cato. We got Bobby Carallo with me. Goodness, just us two.
Well, Tanner's
here.
Tanner.
It's Tanner too. It's always Tanner.
How dare you?
Hello,
wow.
Hello again, Tanner.
Hi, Tim.
I didn't introduce you, Tanner. Tanner, producer, making us.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tanner. Bobby, can we talk about Klay Thompson now?
Yes.
Okay. We now have permission to talk about Klay Thompson. I don't think this one is too complicated. He shoots and hits a bunch of threes and, quite frankly, plays like he did last season. I don't, even in the best case scenario, I don't think he's going to go all of a sudden become a 2-point demon again. I don't think that the 2-point percentage is going to rise dramatically.
A 2-point demon?
Yeah. Yeah. But I do think that the 3-point shooting that he brought last season is about what you want from him. On uncontested jumpers.
We are still running that sale, by the way.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
I know what I messed up.
It does matter. It
doesn't matter to talk about it on the show. My goodness.
It was the end of July is what. Sorry. That's okay. My bad. I accept.
Good. It's all good.
I'm in my worst case timeline.
All of you right now.
Uncontested threes. Klay Thompson. Well, technically, Kai Jones led the Mavericks last season. He shot 50% on them. But Klay Thompson was 46%. If there wasn't a defender really within 6 feet of him, and I know that we gave him some S for, like sometimes taking a dribble and then just clanking one, when he's like wide.
Or just like pump faking out.
What does Dorian say? Butt naked ass open?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or pump faking into a more contested shot. But when he shot wide open threes, he made 46% of them. That needs to continue. And it'd be great if he hit just a few more of the contested ones. At this point of his career, that just might not be the case. But having a guy who seeks out and finds wide open threes and makes 46% of them and also makes a good percentage of contested ones, even if you'd love him to shoot like 41% next season, not 39% on overall and the totality of all the shots that he takes, that's a good thing for the Mavericks. They don't have a player like that. In fact, there are not a lot of players like that in the NBA, even as Klay enters his year 36 season. He just needs to do that again and hopefully not lose any steps on defense or, the very limited stuff that he can do off the dribble as a 2-point guy. Yeah.
He's also going to run off a lot of, there's going to be a lot of dribble handoffs. They're going to be running a lot of just stuff, just a lot of off-ball action, if I had to guess. It's going to be a new look Mavs offense. And so, if Klay's going to be running off screens, running off dribble handoffs, there's going to be opportunities to shoot on the move or at least to get his defender moving and then take advantage of that whether it's him or someone else doing it. So brightest outcome is that Klay is not only an impact with the ball, but also without it.
Yeah, if there is a downside, as a pull-up shooter, he shot 29% last year.
Well, he's going to bump that up, man. It's the brightest timeline.
This is the brightest timeline. Let's see a better pull-up, because pull-up shooting, most of what he does is catch and shoot stuff. But if you're talking about dribble handoffs, that is relocation. Take a dribble, reset yourself, pull up. That's going to be counted as a pull-up jumper. It would be great if we could see if the brightest scenario is we see an uptick in that stat. We've got Omax Prosper coming up next. Best case scenario is that when he is called upon and has to play games, if he's on the roster.
Well, I want to answer it.
Okay. Go ahead.
The best case scenario is that when he has an opportunity, when he is called upon.
If he's on the roster.
Best case for Omax is that he is somehow able to get minutes and that he knocks down threes. Like, that is the expectation, or not even the expectation. That is like the threshold. It's like, can you make some shots, and can you move your feet a little bit? Can you run the floor? But it's tough. There's a lot of people that play his position on this team.
Yeah. He plays kind of like you blow up a balloon and you don't tie it and you just let it go. And there's value in having that on a basketball court. It definitely spices things up. It adds a unpredictability to the sport that is at times useful if you can do the base things. And we're still waiting for Omax Prosper to do the base level stuff that's required of you to be an NBA rotation player, or even just an NBA minutes getter. So hopefully, if he does get minutes,
an NBA player, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not far from not being around anymore.
Yeah, and he just may not be on the roster next year.
But the brightest scenario is that he's the starter.
PJ Washington is the brightest scenario that he's also a starter.
Unquestioned that he is the brightest scenario. The brightest possible outcome for PJ is that he proves that he can be a small forward. Although I kind of think the brightest possible outcome for PJ is that he's able to pilot the second unit and be like a featured player for stretches of the game. I think that might be his brightest, most important, meaningful way he can contribute, is that it is Klay out there. Klay has such a good season that he's a starter. And then PJ agrees to and buys into being a sixth man and is able to quarterback that thing and be like a high volume, high usage player for stretches of games.
I've been kind of granular and pulling a lot of stats and saying very specific things. I'm going to say the rosiest outlook for PJ Washington is he makes it clear that he's part of the young core with Cooper Flagg going forward, that he is not tradable, that you should not be considering trading him, that in fact, if you're considering trading him for the immediate future because he's kind of redundant with some of your older players, then maybe you should trade the older players instead. I don't really know how he proves that, to be honest, because his game is not go out there and just be the best player on the court. I think that what he's best at is being the fourth best player on the court, but being one of the fourth best players in any starting lineup. But if there is a way for him to prove that is the rosiest, that is the best case scenario for him.
Real quick, last season, 15 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 45, 38, and 72 splits.
When?
That's just his numbers.
That's what he did last seseason. That's
that's rounding up on a couple things, but
sure.
God, that's really good. And yet I kind of want a little more. I want a little more. Can I get just a little more? It didn't feel like he was a 38% 3-point shooter. Maybe the best outcome is that he feels like a 38% shooter.
I think that's true. I think that's fair. There is feel about this stuff is a thing that matters.
He was so hot and cold.
Yeah.
Give me some consistency.
Well, somebody who was just cold last season, Caleb Martin.
Oh, my God. I think the best possible outcome for Caleb Martin is that, first off, we remember he's on the team. And secondly, he is a starter. He becomes a mid to high 30s 3-point shooter. I think he is the best point of attack defender on the team, but he makes it clear that he's the best point of attack defender on the team. Very disruptive player, and valuable contributor to both ends of the floor. I think the best case scenario for Caleb Martin is that he is the starting 1, 2, 3, whatever it is.
I think the best case scenario is that last season he could not shoot because his shoulder was effed, basically. And there's not reason to believe that. He hurt his shoulder. He hurt his shoulder last season. He hurt his shoulder. And in Philly, and in Caleb's own words, This was a reason that he struggled to shoot.
Got so fired up from saying effed that you just like completely lost the ball after that.
He has a really funky jumper. He has always had a funky jumper. He has also been someone that for a run to the finals with the Miami Heat, he was better than Ray Allen, basically. And he's never been that good as a shooter, but he has been a much better shooter than he was last season with Dallas. And if that can come back, he does have a bit of a catch and shoot, pump fake, attack a closeout drive game. We've seen that. The problem is you can't attack a closeout when nobody's closing out on you because your jump shot has 5 motions and looks like a trebuchet. So everything about his success or failure with the Mavericks next season is dependent on his jumper coming back. And for his jumper to come back, with how bad it looked last season, I have to think that there was a serious injury hampering it. So the best case scenario is that he was just not healthy last season, and he's going to come back. And I think that is plausible. We just don't know. We don't know.
The overarching best case scenario for the Mavs, and this kind of goes without saying, but for this franchise, it's important, is that they don't finish number 1 in like VORP missed time. You know, like they had the most valuable players miss the most games due to injury last season of any team in the league, like by far. That can't happen. They need these guys not only on the floor, but also at 100% when they're out there. Like we haven't seen Dereck Lively in 100% in a really long time.
Right.
You know,
I don't think
it's not enough to just play. We got to see them.
I don't think Luka played a single game for them after the All-Star break.
He didn't. He played 0% of the 0%.
We've got Naji Marshall coming up next. Best case scenario for the not knife.
The best case scenario is that he wakes up, all right, and realizes, you know what, the knife is a good nickname, and he brings it back. Bring back the knife. The second best case scenario is that he comes on the show multiple times per week. The next best case scenario is that he is a more impactful defender while still replicating most of what he was able to do on offense last season.
So this stat doesn't matter at all. It's just, what would you like to guess that Naji Marshall shot on pull-up jump shots? Pull-up threes last season.
Pull-up threes?
Yeah.
Like 8%?
7.
Oh, my God.
It's just funny when you see. That's not his game. It doesn't matter. He's not a pull-up jump shooter. He is a guy who gets paint touches, and he is a guy who drives a lot and is pretty good at driving. I think the best case scenario for him is that he is still able to do that and maybe takes a half step up as a guy who passes out of that. I know he's had games where he tallies up a lot of assists, but I would argue that more often his vision is still 1 or 2 reads, and that's about it. And I don't need him to become a magical playmaker distributor, but being somebody who can drive with the point of making the offense flow and hum, I think would be a cool thing. I guess also the best case scenario would be, in the best case scenario, he will become a splashy, impactful defender again. And it doesn't matter if he's not their best point of attack defender. What matters is if you're getting steals that allow you to transition and just go get layups on the other end, because that can save and help and boost an offense that otherwise is not, the most formidable offense ever created.
He's capable of cutting possessions to pieces.
Yeah.
Hack and slash the ball, buddy. Play with an edge. All right. But also, I think the best case scenario for Naji is that he doesn't have to make a lot of complex reads because he's able to play off AD and Cooper and, eventually Kyrie, and like the guards are playing so well. Like, I don't want him to have to do those things. I want it to be a bonus when he does.
Yeah, I think that's more fair. I kind of started that one, and that's more how I feel about Naji than what I think his best case scenario is. Well, and I think there's a difference between that. I think not everybody, I think just because he can tally 8 assists is different than saying all 8 assists are created.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between basically he makes $8-9 million and then guys his size that make $50 million, because Naji's got the offensive game of a guy that can make $30 million bucks, like as a scorer. But like for as much as he needs the ball, got to be able to shoot or pass a little better or defend a little better or whatever, and that kind of slots him down so much.
I will say, not if Caleb Martin hits his best case scenario, I do start to wonder where all the minutes go for players like Naji.
Mm-hmm.
So literally another best case scenario is make sure you're outplaying this other guys on a very deep team like Caleb Martin, like Max Christie.
Yeah.
And last season he did, like, thoroughly.
Yeah, bigly.
He outplayed both those guys down the stretch, and he got far and away the most minutes for it. But it's a new season with new competition and Cooper Flagg on top of you. And as we're about to hit this break, we've got Cooper Flagg coming up next, so you do want to stay for that. But Naji, I'm telling you right now, 30-plus minutes to end the season on average. A lot of it was the injuries, and that Naji was healthy for so much of it. Best case scenario is that you're still outplaying those dudes because there is more competition, theoretically more competition at the positions where he is typically going to get those minutes.
How many guys do we have left?
4.
Oh, nice. Okay, we did some work during that segment. That was good.
We did. So we're gonna hit those 4 players, starting with Cooper, coming up right after this break.
Gonna make an announcement. All right. Do you like being part of groups, Tim? Are you part of any clubs?
Club Cato.
I have been
That's
part of so many in my life, and I've got kicked out of all of them.
Oh wow. Well,
yeah.
Hopefully, I don't get kicked out of this one. That'd be pretty embarrassing. Tanner, you ever been a part of a group or a club?
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
You get kicked out of them too?
No.
Are you a valued member in good standing?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm part of the Pro Basketball Writers Association, but I probably need to pay my dues to that.
That sounds lame. Well, you don't got to pay dues to join this club, all right? We are starting a little a summer movie club here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. We're gonna watch one movie a week for the next 5 weeks or so. We might skip one at some point due to scheduling concerns, but we're watching 5 basketball movies. They are in alphabetical order. Tanner tells me.
Die Hard,
Air Bud, Coach Carter, Lovin' Basketball, Space Jam, and Josh Safdie's Uncut Jams. And we are starting next week. We'll announce which movie we're going to start with once we decide what day we're going to do it. But basically what we're going to do is watch the movie on our own time. Well, I don't know if you can still set up like watch party things on streaming services. I don't know how that works.
I
might try and do it to where we all get to all watch it and talk in the Die Hard Discord and all that stuff about it. But we're going to talk about the movie for a segment on the show once a week. And so if you want to watch it with us and, you know, kind of get up to speed on all these great basketball films. Double Teamed, the Disney Channel original movie, didn't make the cut, but
what about High School Musical?
Did not make the cut either. I don't even know if that's about basketball, but if you want to watch those and
you clearly have not
join
seen
us in our roundtable discussions, well, you should do that. And I'm excited to get the things rolling. I think we're going to start probably with Space Jam. We're going to kick it off by going galactic. And so that's going to be really fun. So stay tuned for more info about that. And join our club.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast. We've got 4 players left. We are painting the brightest, the rosiest, the most glass half fullest pictures of what next season is going to be for them. Technically we have 5. Well, we covered Dwight Powell. He continues to be awesome. After that, we've got Cooper Flagg. And the best case scenario for Cooper Flagg is not Rookie of the Year. It's something even better than that. How much better?
All-Star.
All-Star.
I mean, that's like a really optimistic. Like
he'd be the first teenager since Kobe Bryant, I believe.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. LeBron, right? It's got to be LeBron.
I don't think so.
There's no way LeBron wasn't
I think I just heard
All-Star player, right? I don't know. Who can say? But
he was not an All-Star his first year.
Wow. Oh, so like teenage rookie? Or do you just mean teenager in general?
Well, by his age 20 season.
Oh, LeBron would have, because he was born in December, yeah. Yeah, I mean, best case scenario for Cooper is that he's putting up jumbo stats and getting all-star consideration and is way better than just like the 3rd or 4th best player on this team and is way better than an 18-year-old and is like, it's time to build the house out of Cooper Flagg. Like he is just going to be the centerpiece of everything we do moving forward.
Yeah, and in previous shows where we did put qualifiers on things, which we're not doing this show.
Nope. We
did that because literally no teenager has even been to an All-Star game since Kobe Bryant in like the late
30 years
90s.
ago. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, the late 90s, the mid 90s.
We're old.
It's not totally fair to expect this, but also he's Cooper Flagg. Like when has he not risen to a challenge? When has he not like stepped into a Team USA gym and outplayed future Hall of Famers? It is plausible. It is possible. And in this timeline, the brightest timeline,
Guaranteed.
it is guaranteed that he's going to be an all-star. He's going to be a top 50 player. Forget that. He's going to be a top 30 player. He's going to be a top 25 player.
Wow.
He's not even making the all-star game as like an injury replacement.
No.
Get out of that.
He's getting
Get
starter votes.
Yeah. He's gonna be starting next to Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving
In the All-Star game.
in the All-Star game.
Naji's going to be out there and Max Christie too.
Correct. It's gonna be an all Mavericks starting five. It's their best team in the NBA.
I think he could I think he could average 15 to 18 points and be at least an average to above average 3-point shooter, above average foul creator, above average stocks guy. Like, I think that he can do all of those things. I don't even know if that would be the brightest possible outcome, but I think that that's definitely within the realm of optimistic possibility.
Yeah, I think 16, 5, and 5, something like that.
And give me some stocks, give me some blocks, give me some steals.
Of course. That's baked in. I'm not even worried about that. If he's 16, 5, and 5, then we are actually having a conversation. Is he a top 50 player in the NBA?
Yeah. Like,
And
I need 25 tweets from Basketball Reference saying Cooper Flagg is the first teenager since old one-eyed Joe Johnson, not Joe Johnson, whatever. Since
Joe Johnson, to our knowledge, still has two eyes.
Yeah,
for the record.
since old Sleepy Jones Davis left arms in 1946 to do XYZ, you know.
Do you have a best case scenario for Anthony Davis, who is next up?
Best case scenario for AD is that he is playing enough games to get award consideration and in the conversation for every award. And that is DPOY. That's All-Star, obviously. That's All-NBA.
Clutch player of the year.
Yeah, clutch player of the year.
Comeback player of the year.
Yeah, coach of the year. But like, AD plays enough games and the Mavs win enough games to where AD's like on the MVP ladder all year. Like, that's the best case scenario. AD is a top 10 player in the league because he is a top 10 player in the league. And he plays enough and is productive enough, and the Mavs are good enough to where he is recognized as such.
Yeah, I don't need him to literally be on the MVP like short list. The MVP ladder is a place that if you're a top 10 player, then you should be on NBA.com's MVP ladder.
Yup.
It has 10 rungs. It has 10 rungs for a reason.
You need to be on there.
Anthony Davis, you should be on there. Anthony Davis, you should be playing 60-plus games. At this point, even in the brightest, rosiest scenario, I don't really see go back to bubble shooting AD as something for him to do. Over the past 5 seasons, he has shot beneath 27%, 26%.
Not great.
On threes, to clarify, not on jumpers. But his jumper numbers are not super high. He's still been a top 10 player in Los Angeles in spite of that. Even though he's not a jump shooting, demon, to use that term again. So what I'm looking for...
A 2-point demon was hilarious.
Yeah, 2-point demon. Yeah. So what I'm looking for is dominance in the way that Anthony Davis is dominant. In the way that Anthony Davis has been dominant. And I think that's doable. I think it's possible. Sounds good to you?
Yeah, I mean, but again, the brightest is even better than that. The brightest is that this is the best year of his career because he's healthy and everything is good and the team is good.
Well, we've got two players left.
Okay.
The 2 centers. Unless you want to talk about Moises Cisse.
No.
Okay.
I don't know that guy's gonna be on the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But
Yeah.
I'm just asking, do you want to talk about it?
I'm okay.
Look, I love asking questions.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Daniel Gafford. What is the brightest, rosiest, smoothest, loveliest possible timeline, possible outlook for the team's backup center that might start?
It's tough because I think at this point in his career he is just a below average defensive rebounder. So I don't think that it's gonna be like he's just gonna become a glass eating guy out of nowhere.
He's not instantly going to become a switchable guards well on the perimeter or like perfect pick and roll, defensive
defender
stopper.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think the best scenario
He's
is
27 now.
yeah.
Yeah, he's proven those things.
And he's not going to grow stronger or bigger or
he's
taller.
27 before the season
and
starts.
he's 6'9". Like it's not like he's a
6'10".
7-footer.
According to Basketball Reference.
Basketball Reference is never wrong, so he is 6'10".
Correct.
I think the best case scenario is that the Mavs have a system that Gafford can slot into to where those weaknesses don't even matter. The best case scenario, the brightest timeline, the brightest possible outcome for Gafford is that his strengths are accentuated in such a way where in January and February we are like, my God, they cannot keep him off the floor. I don't even care if Lively's healthy. Gafford is so good because AD controls the glass. PJ and Flagg control the glass, and those guys can switch, and Gafford can be hidden or at least, kind of included in the defense in ways that, again, minimize those weaknesses and only highlight his strengths. And his strengths are shot blocking. His strengths are finishing around the rim on offense. His strengths are offensive rebounding. And if everyone else can mask those other weaknesses, then, yeah, he's a freaking incredible player.
I agree. I think the brightest timeline for Daniel Gafford is what he did last season, especially in the year 2025. And he was so good. He was
awesome.
I don't think anybody at the start of his career ever could have imagined him being that type of player. So the brightest timeline for him, is just keep doing what you're doing, brother. Because it's working real well. You're an awesome backup center. You're an amazing backup center. Maybe there's like a little bit more you can get out of all these things that you do well. This is not a scenario where you're being asked to do things you don't do well.
Sixth man of the year?
Sixth man of the year.
Sixth man of the year.
Let's get it. Dereck Lively. He is our final player in this exercise. We've got 3.5 minutes to get through the rosiest, best case scenario. I'm just going to start it off by saying 70 games.
Yeah. I mean, at least more than 50. Like, he's got to play. When he plays, he's good. Like,
yeah.
The brightest scenario for Lively has nothing to do with him making a leap as a shooter, even though that would be fun. It has nothing to do with him becoming a better passer or better finisher or more switchable defender or better shot blocker or better rebounder, because he's already B+ at worst at all of those things. Like, he is such a good player. The only, and I mean only, optimistic outlook for Dereck Lively is that he plays a lot of games. Like, that he's answered every other question. I have no other doubts about him, about his makeup, about his game, about his approach, about his ability to learn and adapt and adjust and grow and develop. It is literally just, can you be on the floor?
I 100% agree. It's any other brightest outlook, brightest timeline, brightest future comes with like a bullet point or a subhead underneath. Be healthy, play at least 60 games. That would be a career high.
Yeah.
Of 2 seasons, but he played 55 as a rookie. At least add 5 onto that. Play 60 games. Start there. And then, if you're playing 60 games, we can talk about how not really even developments from Dereck Lively himself. What I want to see is how much better the offense looks when he's on the court, how much better the defense looks when he's on the court. It's not a development for Dereck Lively himself, but we've seen that both the offense and the defense is better with Dereck Lively on the court, no matter who the backup center is. And sometimes it's a backup that is like, at times when he started his season, it was Dwight Powell, and that's one thing. But at other times it has been Daniel Gafford, who we just talked about all the good things that he does. And yet still, the offense is better and the defense is better when Dereck Lively is the guy out there. And the defense is because he's just that much more versatile. He's that much more of a rim deterrent. He is, probably a worse shot blocker than Daniel Gafford. But he is better at the totality of the defense. He's better on offense because he knows where to spray the ball when it's in his hands. And he's not as good as a finisher. He's not as ferocious of a dunker. But he can get the ball to where it needs to go. And if you think about how Dallas doesn't have a lot of three-point shooting, if you've got a player in the interior who's going to be catching the ball and knows where the open shooter is going to be, where to spray it out to, that is something that matters. That stands out. And so when I think of Dereck Lively, need him to be healthy. It's the most important thing. And then after that, is the team better with him? Because that's been the case. And I just want to keep seeing that because it's a lot of fun to watch.
During his time in Dallas, and this includes regular season, this includes playoffs, this includes play-in, okay, everything. whenever he is on the floor, they are a freaking good basketball team. +7 net rating.
How'd you calculate all that together?
PBP. Great website.
Makes sense.
Whenever he's off the floor, -1.6 net rating. Whenever he's on the floor, 113.6 defensive rating, which is PBP is always a little higher than NBA.com, so that's actually closer to 113, which is good. Whenever he's off the floor, 116.3, which is mid at best, and usually that's going to be below average. Offense, 120.7 offensive rating, 114.7 offensive rating whenever he's off the floor. They are significantly better at both ends of the floor whenever he's on. It doesn't matter who's healthy, who's in, who's out. It does not matter. That guy unlocks winning. I need to see him on the floor.
Do you think this episode of DLLS Mavs hit its brightest timeline?
This was a really bright episode.
I think it did.
This was the best episode we've done.
Except for my mistake, yes.
This is my best episode all week. Yeah, except for the Die Hard read.
This was for the optimist.
That was my fault.
This
Good
was
job,
for
Tanner.
the glass half
This was
fullers.
my worst timeline.
Well, we're going to ignore that, Tanner, because you made it look good and sound good. Thank you, Bobby, for being here.
Tim.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
I'm Tim Cato. We will be back tomorrow with another episode talking about stuff involving
Trivia.
the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.